Hello friends, and welcome back to The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Well, in case you missed last episode, our original goal was to get the hookshot and then make our way to the Forest Temple. So we spent the entirety of the last episode getting the hookshot and then doing everything else but the Forest Temple. As you can see, we're here in the Ice Cavern, and I haven't even stepped foot into the Forest Temple. And now I'm gonna have to remember the fun of exchanging the boots. So we got about halfway through the adult trade sequence, and we have all the tools necessary to basically get it done, which would give me the best sword in the game. So my plan is to at least attempt to get that taken care of. But I'm going to do one little trick here. I'm going to set up a warp point with Faroe's Wind. And by doing so, I have very quick access back to the Ice Cavern, and by extension, Zora's Fountain. So there is a Gold Skulltula that I will have to come up and get eventually. I will need silver gauntlets to be able to get. But that will not be for some time. So as long as I remember that I set up Faroe's Wind, I will be able to quickly come back here and come and grab the Skulltula. But for now, we'll get the heart piece that's under here. Make our way back up. I am now starting to remember why I hate the menu pausing. But we will be able to continue on first with a visit to King Zora, who I did thaw out on the last episode, thanks to a purchased blue fire. And we will now proceed with the next portion of the sequence by handing in the prescription. Now, in a sad twist, we will not be able to use our warp magic to get to our destinations quickly, because for some reason, apparently, the items we have cannot stand the ability of warping instantaneously from location to location. So we have to actually make the travel on foot. Now, it was nighttime, so I'm going to check something here. I think this is something I can do with just hookshot. Very much yes. Well, there we go. 49 more of those pesky tokens left to get. Okay. So now here's the prescription. Oh, this is, well, eye drops. You might say we have them, you might say we don't. We do have the ingredients. If you take the ingredients to the doctor at the lake laboratory, he can make the drops for you. But you need to deliver them fresh. Can you make it before they spoil? Of course, I've got a horse! So now we've got the eyeball frog, and we have to book it to Lake Hylia. 3 minutes to do so, which shouldn't be too bad, because we do have horseback. It's such a shame we can't glitch ourselves under the ice. Alright. So now we'll just make our way riverside here. A little faster, I think. Ah, yes. The pesky Octoroks of Zora's River. If I notice this correctly, the Octoroks in the adult timeline actually, especially in the river, fire like twice as fast as standard Octoroks, and it's really annoying. Alright, well that took us our first minute. So now I just need to get across the water here. Okay, well that's not bad. We made that in 1 minute. So now we'll make the rest of the trek, and we'll do it really quick. Where are you? There you are. Epona just summons herself out of nowhere. Time to ride. No, I wonder if I'll run into any big Poes at this point. Because I know they can come about even if I don't have a bow. But how it works is all of the big Poes in Hyrule Field have a spawn zone where if you ride from a specific direction in that spawn zone, they'll summon. And then you have to shoot them down with your bow, catch them in the bottle, and then take them to the man in the guardhouse. Bring all 10 in, and you get an empty bottle. Basically not worth the trouble. But hey, I gotta do it for the full completion screen anyway, so it is what it is. Okay, now, I will get that heart piece eventually. I've got 46 seconds, so I'm gonna just position Epona here right quick. And I'm doing this before I absolutely forget this is a thing, because I will need this for later portions of the game. We now have the Scarecrow song. And skipping all of that text because it's a lot. So thank goodness Epona made that much easier. So yeah, I'll take care of all other Lake Hylia things here in a bit. Also, I totally just walked right past you. Oh! Oh, wow! I haven't seen an eyeball frog like this since Sora's domain froze over. These eyeballs are so delicious. Tonight I will cook fried eyeballs for the first time in a long time. Such great stuff. Please say thank you to King Zora. What? These are for making Bigaron's eye drops? Oh, how disappointing. You should have said so in the first place. After a little bit of preparation, here it is. This medicine doesn't have any preservatives in it, so it won't last long at this temperature. Run as fast as you can to Death Mountain. You're young, you can do it. Thanks for the vote of confidence. I now have the eye drops, and 4 minutes to book it up Death Mountain. We'll see how well that goes, but thankfully I have horseback. And since I was smart enough to have Epona positioned, I can just immediately book it. It's like I've got foresight or something. There we go. Got our way through all of that. So now if I just time my carrot usage correctly, I should be fine. Ah yes, there is that random fence that gets built in Hyrule Field in the adult timeline for a reason that I can never understand. Like, if it was just to have a spot for Epona to jump, that's one thing. But I mean, Hyrule Field is so empty that even adding a fence doesn't change that because Hyrule Field has nothing to do in it. Haha, my running joke. I haven't used that one in a while. Can't believe I went the entirety of my last randomizer without thinking that one. Okay, well, we got the first minute there. So getting through Kakariko will take probably like 20 seconds, and then we will get up Death Mountain. Hopefully we don't burn. Now, thankfully, we can get hit by hot objects, and that won't ruin the eye drops. Thankfully, the game is a little merciful in that sense. But now we begin the final track. Alright, we're almost halfway down the time, but we are more than halfway towards Bigaron. Just don't get hit by the boulder. We do have to make the long way up. I'm actually not sure if you could... this is just because my memory doesn't remember if this is a thing. But if you can go into Goron City, take the shortcut from Death Mountain Crater, and go that way? If that would work. Okay, well, here we go. Rocks are a little bit more random this time. But it's still just as fast to backwalk past the whole thing. And look at that. Ooh, that was close. Get you out of here now. That. You. Nope, I gotta climb it. But that's good. I was able to take care of the obstacles. I will say that is a very wicked effect they use for the ring for Death Mountain here. Alright. Hey, Bigoron, I've got your eye drops. Really? You brought the eye drops? I'm so relieved. I'm gonna use them right now. I do appreciate the effect that they used the echoing water. Whoa! This is stimulating. It's working great. Now I can get back to my blade business. My work is not very consistent, so I'll give this to you so you won't forget. After a few days, please return. Wait, just wait patiently. And there's the final item of the trait sequence, the claim check. Not yet. You are impatient. So, with this, we just have to wait 3 in-game days for the sword to be finished. So we can make this go a little bit faster. So by playing the Sun Song in an area with set time, it just instantly fades you out. As opposed to on the overworld, where you will actually see the sun and moon shift, and that does take time unto itself. So this will be second sunrise. So I'm going to play Sun Song 2 more times, get us to the next day, and I think that will be enough to qualify us to get the sword. I'm coming, Bigoron. Let's see if that was enough. Do you have it? I made this. Trade for claim check. That sword is my finest work. And there we go. We have the strongest sword in the game, the Bigoron's sword. Look at that. We've got the big sword. Okay, so now that we got the sword all taken care of, we can now actually do the thing we were supposed to do. And the fast way to do that... probably if I did this to go back into the crater and then come out into Goron City and take the shortcut. That would probably be the fastest way to go about this. Now, eventually, I will have to get Young Link up here to plant a magic bean and take care of another Gold Skulltula. But I cannot go back in time right now until I have defeated the Forest Temple. Because Sheik is there blocking the pedestal. So I can't warp myself back in time. Not just yet, anyways. There'll be plenty of things to do once I have the ability to go back in time. As you can tell, I have set myself up pretty well here. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, actually, is a bit of a help. I'm going to make it nighttime. And that'll have a couple of gold skull tulas hiding about the place. Okay, first we gotta get past Mido. What are you? Though you wear Kokiri-ish clothing, you can't fool me. I promised Saria I would never let anybody go through here. Oh, really? What if I was a friend as well? That melody! Saria plays that song all the time. Do you know Saria? That song. Saria taught that song only to her friends. Okay, I trust you. When I see you, I don't know why, but I remember him. That would have been a really interesting element of the game if they made it so that the Kokiri kids could recognize Link. Like, after a time, perhaps. Maybe it's like something happens where they'll say, oh, that is definitely Link. And then they'd be like, how did you grow up? What's it like being in a grown-up body? Like, you know, could have made for some interesting extra dialogue. Oh, but it feels so good to have this big sword. Alright, well here we are, Sacred Forest Meadow. But the maze here is a lot more dangerous. There are moblins about. So we would have to play somewhat sneaky to get through the maze here. So we would just have to do some work with our hookshot. So hopefully it won't be too difficult and we'll be able to get through it. No problem. Just kidding. I am cheesing the whole thing. Oops. I forgot. I have the claim check on the C-down button. You know when you've got those buttons that are like, you know it's that particular item you equip to it? The hookshot is always on C-down for me. The bow is always on C-left, and I've certainly gotten better at not having it there, but the ocarina is usually on C-right. So we'll have to play. Oh yeah, I have Bigeron's sword. I'll just take you down right now. Feels so good to have this sword. And like, I've already dealt with the ice cavern too. I can just make my way to the water temple whenever I want. But then here we go. Link is reminiscing about Saria being in the meadow. And it's Sheik. The flow of time is always cruel. Its speed seems different for each person, but no one can change it. A thing that doesn't change with time is a memory of younger days. In order to come back here again, play the Minuet of Forest. So now we have the warp song, Back to the Forest. And not bad, we already have half the warp songs. But it is time now to make our way into the Forest Temple. Hopefully things go well. I won't be able to play it like I usually do in randomizers, because I try to come here when I have a bow. And by having a bow, you can already start circumventing a lot of the puzzles of the dungeon that you have to backtrack to. So for now, we will have to play as this. So now we begin our first little climb up here. One thing too, there are a lot of gold skulltulas in the temples, especially in Forest Temple right off the bat. Okay, so I'll just get this marked now. And we'll have to now start marking the keys as well. Man, those wolfos down there, they don't realize they can't get me right now. So that should be first key. And then I'll just walk by them, like, no threat. Alright, now here we are in the central room. Now I know that there are some fun glitches where you can control Link during this cutscene and get on the elevator. And by getting on the elevator, you can trigger the act of the elevator going up back to the main floor, and that keeps it open. So you can actually go back down whenever. It's a huge time save if you can pull it off. Oops, not yet. It's over here. Okay, I can't get it with pillar in the way. Like, at this point for Gold Skulltulas, 50 was what I needed to get the last reward. The next 50 are just extraneous. It's like, who would have thought 100 of something would have be good? Okay, if I can time this right. Gotcha. So this'll just take care of the Stalfos real quick. You're not a challenge to me now. I have the best sword in the game. Alright, so that should be key number 2. And now we'll do our business in the courtyard. So since I can't go in the back entrance with a bow, I have to come in this side. After playing this Song of Time. And even funnier, I've got the iron boots, so I can, like, cheese the little well portion there if I wanted to. Okay. So I'll have to remember there is that one Gold Skulltula up there. Does that work? No, it does not. Okay, so... yeah, like, I could walk through the well that way. But I do need to come up here. Is that good? Yes. I have to remember, don't move when the Skullwall looks at you. Aha! Gotcha. Deku Nuts. One of the best non-offensive weapons. It was certainly something I didn't use very often when playing as a kid. Because they're like, oh, why would you stun something if you can just kill it with your sword? And then as you grow up, you realize, I could skip all that just by stunning them. Like, that's the beauty of... Ooh, that was close. I was trying to get the Deku Nut. But being able to stun something is actually way more efficient. Hey now. And at least you get so many Deku Nuts thanks to the big Deku Babas. So, I don't think this is anything important. Yeah, it's just a heart. Aha, got it before I got hit. So that makes number 55. So now we'll make our way over to this side. We come down here, and I think there is a chest at the end of the walkway here. Yes. I have actually walked past that chest a few times in my tenure of playing this game. That makes for small key the 3rd. So we're doing good. That'll get me at least halfway through the main part of the dungeon. Now we've circled our way back. Again, I will have to come up there and walk it to get a Skulltula, because I do not have the long shot. Ouch. Sometimes you just feel like bonking into a wall, you know? Like, it just feels good to ram into a wall at fast speeds. Like, actually, I can stun that and not have to worry about using the hook shot. Alright, now time for that one room in this place that just kills all the pace you go at, because it is the slowest thing in this darn place. The block pushing. I think if I remember right, in my 100 subscriber Q&A special, this was the topic of one question that I answered. This was the case of things in games you enjoy replaying that you dread having to do again. It's like bad things in games you love to replay a lot. This is that one thing for Ocarina of Time. Like, it's not that I don't know how the blocks need to be pushed, it's just that you have to spend time pushing the blocks, and that's the annoying part. I just miss that fast block pushing. There we go. Now I know there's a chest over there with, I want to say it's 30 arrows. Like, the convenient thing with the little tracker I've got on the side there, it'll let me know when I've got all the small keys of the Forest Temple, and I do need every small key to be able to get to the end. So when I know I've got maximum, I've got them all. And thankfully the blocks stay in their little indents, so this is the last time I have to deal with it for this time. There we go. But I suppose one of the other little extensions to that thought of moments I dread, it's when you have to come up and down this like 3 times in the dungeon. So ordinarily I would have a bow in my randomizers when I come up here, so I'd start with the room straight, which lets me get the boss key and then do the extra little things here. And then I would warp it back to what it is now, the twisty hallway, so that I can progress in the dungeon proper. So there we go. I needed every single one of those keys to be able to get to this point. So I cannot do any of the Poe Sisters paintings right now. I have to do this. Time for the Room of Surprisingly Huge Lag. Aha! I don't take extended damage from you this time. I just take regular damage. I've got more chances. Aha! Like right there, just tanks the frames. There we go. Everything just tanks. I think it's like 7 or 8 frames per second is like what it equates to. But there we go. Now we have another one of my favorite things in this game, the bow. So now we can take care of all things bow related, and that also does put the Big Poe side quest on the docket. Not that I'm looking forward to it. Alright, I guess I will go backwards from here. I'll do my backtrack at this point. I'll take care of the Big Poe Sisters when I make my return trip this way. Ooh, that was close. So let's get that bow. Then I'll use C-Ray as backup for Deku Nuts. So now everything is all straightened out. Also, bonk into the wall again. So now we have our first appearance of boss chests. Now, I will say it would have been pretty cool if they did the Link to the Past approach, where it's like that is a like super cool item and you have to look for the one chest in the dungeon that has the big key in it. Like if they took that approach. All right, so now here we are in this one portion of the courtyard. Giant Tekubaba. Let's make sure I make the jump right. And that's another token. Token 56. Alright, got that. So now we have to go to over here. So, Floor Master. Ah, yes. Downside of the Bigoron Sword, I am without use of shield. But the quick spins, those are powerful. And I think that is another small key. Yes. So, magic, magic, magic. Thank you. So now we can make our way back to the block push room from this side. It's kind of a back entry. Now I don't need to do the small chest that I can spawn with the bow and arrow because that one just has arrows in it. So I can just make my way back up. If I'm right, do I have to hit the switch again? It's been ages since I've done it this way. I do have to hit the switch again. Gotcha. This, I will say, this is definitely a neat concept for a dungeon, especially into one of Zelda's first forays of 3D. A twisty hallway like this. Like, I can't think of any other game that employed an effect like that. So this was probably my first time seeing something like that, and it's definitely cool. That is for sure. Yeah, so you decide to book it. Too much. Too little. Just right. It's like the Goldilocks shot. Too high, too low, just right. Okay, now if I remember right, I'm actually going to switch the Master Sword here because I do use some shield tricks. So you can use a Deku Nut to make the Poe Sisters reappear. And you can do that to a quick 1, 2, 3 and take them out. So that is a small key chest, which I think the other sister that you take out that way has the compass. Okay, so that would be every small key. And I've already got the boss key, so we are set. Just have to make our way through the rest of the dungeon. Look at that. Forest Temple not being so bad after all. Okay, and then you're going to go into that painting. And there we go. And then we just do what we did before. Deku Nuts are so good. Like, I can remember, because I I think I've said this before. When it comes to like items and inventories and such, I am always a hoarder of things with resources. So I would... Not only did I not use Deku Nuts once I thought they outlived their usefulness, but I would very rarely use anything else. Like, gotta save my inventory for that point when you need it, even if that moment never comes. So I would always use my sword to take out the Poe Sisters, and it would take forever because of the time spent waiting for them to reappear. Alright, now we're in this portion. Not quite. So now we have to make our way down this already straight hallway to the last locked door. Last small key door, in case anyone corrects me. Now, if I really wanted to, this would be a spot where Din's Fire could be used, but I'll play this puzzle as it's intended. Cool. So close. Alright. I'll take the loop of shame. Now, funnily enough, if I wanted to, I could actually go get the fire arrows. It would take a little bit of time, though. I would have to go to the water temple, obviously, and get the long shot, which, as people know, that involves a fight with Dark Link, which I am definitely going to find every way to cheese that fight. But I would have to go through that dungeon up to that point to get the long shot, but then I would have to leave the water temple and head out into Lake Hylia, because despite what people might think, you can actually shoot the sun to get the fire arrows summoned, but in order to get to the little island to get the fire arrows, you need the long shot and scarecrow song. There's no other way to do it without glitches. Now, of course, once you have saved the water temple and got the water back into Lake Hylia, you can just swim over there. No problem. Okay, so now here we are, Poe Sister 3. Thankfully, this is the same as randomizer, but the only problem is block pushing is a slow and tedious process. Oops, no. I need to... This is so slow. Actually, maybe I'll amend my statement of the Forest Temple to anything to do with block pushing in the Forest Temple. Yeah, that sounds about right. Now, one act of mercy that this puzzle gives you, if you fail, which you do have plenty of time, so it's not like it's not like it's too difficult to actually solve it in the first place. But should you fail, the blocks flip, and the images on them turn into a different one, so you have to push and pull them out again. But they increase the amount of time you have on your timer. I know, because I have, in fact, failed it in my life before. So I do know that that is how it works, but it is a very nice touch of mercy. Well, here we go. We have defeated 3 of the sisters. We've gotten 3 of the flames back. So now it's time for the final Poe Sister. That was the one to the front. There we go. Just get off the elevator so nothing crazy happens. There we go. Thankfully, all we have to do is just look for the Poe that spins, and we know which Poe it is. right. One more shot, and that'll be it. Gotcha. And that is the final puzzle of the Forest Temple. Well, we have one more, but that's the main gimmick of the Forest Temple. Alright, so now we have to play a block rotation. Hopefully I remember the direction to push them in. So that is there, that is there. Good. Because if you do push them in the right direction, every single push will let you see a new door. And you can do this in as few as 4 pushes. One tip to go about it is if you can pay attention to what color the carpet is on the door of the gate that's moving, you can work towards it. Now there is one on the interim here that you do need to get. So as long as I keep the right direction. I think it's this one. Yep. And there's also one more gold Skulltula here. I will get this chest just for now. Bundle of arrows. Gotcha. How did the one that looked like it hit miss and the one that was too far away hit? Okay. I'm going to take a look here at the map. Yeah, and that's just the little chest that I can get with the arrow switch. So that one's fine. Okay, so key, compass, map, and all gold Skulltulas. As far as I'm concerned, that's a finish. Okay, so it's not going to stay green because... well, actually, hold on. I'm doing a little work here on my tracker. Maybe it's just a different mode. Anyways, I'm just going to do red. So, yes, I have found everything for this dungeon. I have gotten all of the gold Skulltula tokens. For anyone who did notice, I was trying to mark the ice cavern, but it doesn't have that little skull icon to mark it, to keep it consistent. So I decided I am going to change how I marked things to keep it more consistent. And every one of them has a red text, which I believe is the setting for Master Quest. Alright, but that is everything of the Forest Temple. I do not have to make a return trip here at any point. It is now time to face the final boss. So first we have to do this. And when we try to leave, we're trapped. It's not like we can just jump over the ropes and leave. But this guy might follow us. That's certainly one way to make an entry for the first big boss of the adult timeline. Just, we instantly face something that looks like Ganondorf. Also, I like a nice little thing that Ganondorf says once we have defeated this boss. It's like, when you face the real me, then you're gonna have some trouble. Okay, so first we have to look for Phantom Ganon coming through the paintings. There will be one fake that rides alongside at a different painting. We just have to look for the one that looks the brightest. So, like, that one looks pretty dark. Should be right there. I missed completely. Go me. So let's find out here. That is a bright one. That is clearly it. Gotcha. So we do just need one more hit. I am actually... don't mind the screen there. Setting up my Bigoron sword here for what I hope is a quicker kill. There we go. So now we are in phase 2. Time to volley some shots. If I can hit. I hope I don't have to... I don't have to get to... where it's set blows. And there we go. Bigoron Sword really makes things quick. So I'll explain what I did there in just a second for anyone who doesn't know, because I typically have to do it once per playthrough. Hey kid, you did quite well. Looks like you may be gaining some slight skill. But you have defeated only my phantom. When you fight the real me, it won't be so easy. What a worthless creation that ghost was. I'll banish it to the gap between dimensions. And that's the Forest Temple. Okay, so that little trick that I did there, how did I defeat Phantom Ganon so darn quick? Well, it wasn't just because I had the Bigoron Sword. If you saw what I was doing there, I was crouching and stabbing with my sword, so we'll call that a crouch stab. So the crouch stab is another technique to do damage with your sword, but for some reason, they never gave it a damage value property associated with it. Like, we'll say like regular slash does 1 damage, jump slash does double regular damage, so 2 hearts, and so on and so on. So what ends up happening is the crouch stab will use the damage of the last thing you swung. So the first thing I hit Phantom Ganon with was a jump slash. So that was the first hit. And then when I decided to do the crouch stabs, every single hit after that is the equivalent of doing a jump slash. But as you can tell, my ability to stab is much faster than my ability to jump slash. So in a quick 1, 2, 3, that was all the damage I needed to take care of Phantom Ganon. Alright, now with that explanation over, and I know I'm going to revisit that topic for something in the future, we now have our first medallion. And also another return visit to the Chamber of the Sages. And it's Saria. Thank you. Because of you, I could awaken as a sage. I am Saria, the sage of the Forest Temple. I always believed that you would come, because I know you. No. You don't have to explain it to me. Because it is destiny that you and I can't live in the same world. I will stay here as the Forest Sage and help you. Now please take this medallion. Oh, that's right. There is going to be more cutscene after this too. Something that I normally skip otherwise. But there we go. That is the Forest Medallion acquired. Saria awakens as a sage and adds her power to mine. Saria will always be your friend. So here we are back in the Deku Tree Grove. I'm fairly certain if we came here at one point, we could see this little sprout head here, but naturally we wouldn't know what that was until now. And then Link's like, what? And then I always did get a kick out of that. I don't know why, I just love that type of comedy. Hi there! I'm the Deku Tree Sprout. Because you and Saria broke the curse on the Forest Temple, I can grow and flourish. Thanks a lot. Feels good to be alive. Hey, have you seen your old friends? None of them recognized you with your grown-up body, did they? That's because the Kokiri never grow up. Even after 7 years, they're still kids. You must be wondering why only you have grown up. Well, as you might have already guessed, you're not a Kokiri. You're actually a Hylian. I'm happy to finally reveal the secret to you. And just like before, we get another flashback to our nightmares. Some time ago, before the King of Hyrule unified this country, there was a fierce war in our world. Actually, now that I think about it, how does the Sprout know this story? Did he just, like, take information from his dead father? One day, to escape from the fires of the war, a Hylian mother and her baby boy entered this forbidden forest. The mother was gravely injured. Her only choice was to entrust the child to the Deku Tree, the guardian spirit of the forest. The Deku Tree could sense that this was a child of destiny, whose fate would affect the entire world, so he took him into the forest. After the mother passed away, the baby was raised as a Kokiri, and now finally, the day of destiny has come. So that's Link's entire backstory. A Hylian raised as a Kokiri. You are a Hylian, and were always bound to leave this forest. And now, you have learned your own destiny, so you know what you must do. That's right, you must save the land of Hyrule. Now, Link, break the curses on all the temples and return peace to Hyrule. So with that, 1 temple down, 4 to go. And I might as well just make my way back to the Temple of Time now. Because now that I have the Forest Medallion, I do have the ability to talk to Sheik again and get one neat song out of it that I definitely want to get. So we'll just make our way back there right now. But I will say, I am glad that that Forest Temple went as well as it did. And I think that might have actually been one of the fastest Forest Temples I've ever completed. And it certainly helped that I had the Bigoron sword for sure. That made the Stalfos really easy. That Phantom Ganon was definitely one of the faster ones I've done. If I was maybe just a little luckier with my sword slashes for getting the volley back, that might have been a different story, but that was still pretty darn quick, and I'm pleased with how that one turned out. But even just having the foresight to know, like, why don't you just go backtrack from the bow immediately and get what's there, and that way you can just keep progressing forward? Like, that helped a lot. So, yeah, glad that that Forest Temple went as well as it did. And I am hoping that the remaining temples will go just as well. So now we'll make our way back into the Temple of Time. And Sheik will be in the back waiting for us. So you finally went to the Forest Temple after all those diversions. Well, you did a good job. You destroyed the wicked creatures that haunted the temple and awakened the sage. But there are still other sages who need your help. In order to awaken all the other sages, you must become even more powerful. You must travel over mountains, underwater, and even through time. If you want to return to your original time, return the Master Sword to the pedestal of time. By doing this, you will travel back in time 7 years. The time will come when you will have to return here quickly. I will teach this to you for when that time comes. The song to return you to the Temple of Time. The Prelude of Light. Now, definitely one of the best songs in the game because it just gets us right back to that Temple of Time. Get through the quest. So let's play the song. And there we go. Prelude of Light is ours. My ocarina keeps glowing. Why does it do that? I still love that look. As long as you hold the Ocarina of Time and the Master Sword, you hold time itself in your hands. Link, we shall meet again. Stop with the Deku Nuts! Although that was a really big flash. Do you have, like, special Deku Nuts in your inventory, Sheik? Well, anyways, with that, the Forest Temple is now taken care of, and with the Prelude of Light, we now have our access back to the Temple of Time. So I think I'm going to call the episode here, because I think on the next episode, I'm going to suffer through getting all the big pose. I have the bow and arrow now, so I can do that side quest. I might only show highlights of doing it, but I want to just get that side quest taken care of, because that'll just take forever. I don't know why it had to be so difficult to get a bottle out of it, but oh well, it's a thing the game says, and I am trying to do everything in the game. So I will have to do that side quest. Might as well make that the start of the next episode. So thank you very much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Take care, stay safe, and have a good day.